all here tonight because we know how special my dad is. No matter the moment of need, he has been there for you, for me, for all of us, every single time. The way he shows up for people with presence, love, humor, and that mix of wisdom and warmth that somehow makes everyone feel seen is extraordinary. It's a way of being that has shaped so many lives, including my own. In our house, bedtime was sacred. Every night, my parents would crawl into bed with us, read a few pages of a book, and sing the Shema and Hashkivenu. These are prayers about love, protection, and peace, about being watched over as the world grows still. As a child, it was comforting. As a teenager, it was, well, a little less cool. My friends would come for sleepovers, and my dad would still insist on coming in to sing. I'd roll my eyes, but secretly, I think I loved it, because those prayers became a rhythm, the sound of safety. Years later in college, when life felt heavier and home felt far away, I found myself quietly singing those same melodies to myself. They carried me through lonely nights and anxious mornings, reminders that no matter how far apart we were, that safety net still existed. I still remember one time during college when I was really struggling. After a few days of tearful calls with my mom, my dad called to check in. His voice was gentle, the way it gets when he's trying to show he is really listening. And he asked what was wrong. I told him I didn't know exactly, that I just felt sad and overwhelmed. He paused for a moment and then said with complete sincerity, "Ellie, once I was really depressed in rabbinical school, and you know what I did?" I asked what, and without skipping a beat, he said in his genuine and very proud of himself voice, "I started saying the Shema every day, and suddenly I felt so much better." While I know he was met with an immediate eye roll and probably some choice words, that moment has stuck with me. Not because prayer is a cure-all, but because it's so deeply him. It's a reflection of his faith in the power of connection and returning to something steady when the world feels uncertain. It's his way of saying, even when you don't have the answers, you're not alone. If there's one thing I've learned from my dad, it's to never let the truth get in the way of a good story. So in true Michael Moskowitz fashion, I should probably confess that the prayer he told me about that day wasn't really the Shema at all. In fact, it wasn't even a prayer. It was actually the lyrics to You Sexy Thing by Hot Chocolate. Just kidding, it was the Modani, but my speechwriters told me that joke would land better than explaining the meaning of another morning prayer. My dad loves a good story, and he loves a good laugh. But underneath all that humor is one of the sharpest minds. He's endlessly curious, the kind of person who can turn anything into a lesson, weaving together philosophy, pop culture, and a perfectly timed punchline without missing a beat. While it's sometimes hard to admit, he is one of the smartest people I know. That doesn't mean we always agree on everything, far from it. Our conversations can certainly get spirited, but even in disagreement, there's respect. He listens deeply, challenges thoughtfully, and somehow leaves you feeling both heard and a little bit smarter than when the conversation started. And with all that brilliance and curiosity, what stands out most is how he uses it. Not to impress, but to care. His wisdom isn't just in what he knows, but in how he brings comfort, connection, and calm to everyone around him. The Hashkivenu asks God to spread over us a shelter of peace, to give us comfort and safety as we rest. For so many of you, I know my dad has been that shelter, a source of peace in times of chaos, a steady hand when life feels uncertain. And for me, he has always been that and more. A protector, a teacher, and the person who has shown me that love, when done right, is both passionate and gentle. The Shema calls us to love with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our might. That is exactly how my dad lives. It's how he loves my mom, how he loves his family, and how he loves this community, and how he moves through the world. Dad, you have spent 30 years teaching this community to pray, to sing, to love, and to find holiness in one another. But what you've really taught us, through the way you live, is that showing up for people is prayer. That protecting and comforting others is holiness. So, this weekend, we get to show up for the person who has been there for all of us. Whether you're leading the community in prayer or getting down on the dance floor, there is certainly no one who does it quite like you. So, Dad, here's to you and this amazing community that you have built over the past 30 years.